Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Never Give Up. You don't struggle with things that don't matter. The very fact that you're facing resistance is proof that something significant is inside of you. It means you're pushing against something that is worth fighting for. Struggle is not a sign of weakness. It is evidence of potential. If you feel like you're constantly battling, it doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're growing. The truth is, anything worth having requires effort. And the challenges you face today are shaping you into the person you need to become for tomorrow. Think about a seed buried in the soil. In the darkness, unseen and unnoticed, it begins to push through. It must break through its shell, push past the weight of the soil, and fight its way toward the surface. The pressure, the resistance, the difficulty of growing through the dirt, none of that, is a sign that the seed is in the wrong place. It's a sign that something is happening. The struggle is proof of life. The fact that you're experiencing difficulty doesn't mean you're buried. It means you're planted. What feels like opposition is often preparation. If you have big dreams, big goals, or a purpose you want to fulfill, then resistance is inevitable. The greater the calling, the greater the opposition. Every person who has ever accomplished something significant has faced moments where quitting felt like the easiest option. But they understood something crucial. Struggle isn't a stop sign. It's a sign that you're in motion. You don't struggle standing still. You don't experience resistance when you're not pushing forward. If you're feeling pressure, if you're feeling resistance, if you're feeling like everything is coming against you, it might just mean that you're on the right track. Gold doesn't become valuable without fire. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Muscles don't grow without resistance. The very things we admire for their strength and beauty had to endure intense struggle to become what they are. The same principle applies to you. The things that challenge you today are refining you. They are making you stronger. They are developing your endurance, your patience, and your character. If you want to step into your potential, you cannot avoid the strugglite is the very process that will take you where you're meant to be. Many people give up when things get hard, not because they aren't capable, but because they don't realize that struggle is part of the journey. They think difficulty means they aren't good enough, smart enough, or strong enough, but that's a lie. Struggle is not proof that you lack ability. It's proof that you are in the process of developing it. The more you push through, the stronger you become. The challenges you face today are shaping the person who will handle success tomorrow. Imagine an athlete training for a championship. Every weight they lift, every sprint they run, every painful moment of exhaustion is necessary to prepare them for the victory ahead. They don't quit because the training is hard. They push through because they understand that struggle produces strength. They know that every drop of sweat is an investment in their future success. Your struggles are doing the same thing for you. They are not pointless. They are making you better, stronger, and more prepared for what's coming next. People often look at successful individuals and assume they had an easy road. But if you study their stories, you'll find that every great success is built on a foundation of struggle. They failed. They faced rejection. They had moments of doubt, but they refused to let the struggle stop them. They saw it as part of the process. They understood that pressure creates diamonds, and they allowed their struggles to shape them instead of break them. When you find yourself in a battle, don't let discouragement convince you that you're not capable. Instead, recognize it for what it is, proof that you're moving forward, proof that you're stepping into something significant, proof that you are being refined, strengthened, and prepared. What you're going through isn't pointless. It's not wasted. It's producing something in you that you can't even see yet. A seed doesn't know when it's going to break through the soil. It just keeps growing. It doesn't stop when the dirt gets heavy. It doesn't quit when the process takes longer than expected. It just keeps pushing, knowing that one day what was once unseen will become something beautiful. The same is true for you. You may not see the results yet, but that doesn't mean they aren't coming. You may feel like you're stuck in the dirt, but in reality, you're being prepared to rise. Struggle is not your enemy. It is your training ground. It is proof that something greater is on the other side. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey to success. A, Too many people see failure as the end, as a confirmation that they weren't good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. But failure is not final. It is a lesson, a teacher, a stepping stone. Every great leader, every innovator, every person who has achieved something remarkable has failed. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that successful people never fail, but that they refuse to let failure define them. They see it for what it is, a lesson, an opportunity to grow, a necessary part of the process. When a child learns to walk, they fall over and over again. No one tells them to stop trying. No one says maybe walking just isn't for you. They get back up. They try again. Every fall teaches them something. They learn how to balance, how to move their feet, how to shift their weight. They don't see falling as failure. They see it as part of learning. And eventually they walk. Then they run. The same principle applies to every area of life. Every failure is teaching you something. Every mistake is revealing something you need to learn. The only real failure is refusing to learn from it. When you touch something hot and get burned, your brain registers the pain and you learn to be more careful next time. Failure works the same way. It teaches you what doesn't work, what needs to change, what you can improve. But too many people let the sting of failure make them afraid to try again. They let one rejection, one setback, one disappointment convince them that they aren't meant for more. They internalize failure as a reflection of their worth instead of seeing it as information that will help them grow. But failure is never personality. It's simply a result of action. And if you're retaking action, then you are moving in the right direction. If you look at history, some of the most successful people are the ones who failed the most. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He understood that failure wasn't a stop sign. It was a guide. It narrowed down the path, revealing what wasn't the solution so he could get closer to the right one. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. These are people who could have let failure define them, but instead they used it as fuel. They understood that failure wasn't a dead end. It was a redirection. The reason failure feels so final is because we attach meaning to it. We see it as proof that we aren't capable. But what if failure wasn't about you? What if it wasn't about your ability or your potential? What if it was just a sign that you need to adjust, to learn, to try again? What if failure wasn't rejection, but redirection? Every time you fail, you gain wisdom, you gain insight, you gain resilience. You are becoming the kind of person who can handle success. Because the truth is, success isn't just about talent or intelligence, it's about perseverance. It's about learning how to navigate setbacks without losing sight of where you're going. A sculptor doesn't start with a perfect masterpiece. They start with a rough block of stone. And every strike of the chisel, every piece that breaks away, brings them closer to revealing what was always inside. Failure does the same thing. It chips away at the unnecessary, the ineffective, the things that aren't working, so that what remains is strong, refined, and ready. Without the chiseling, there is no masterpiece. Without failure, there is no growth. There is a difference between failing and being a failure. Failing is an event. Being a failure is a mindset. You can fail at something without being a failure. What determines whether you succeed is what you do after failure. Do you let it stop you? Do you let it make you shrink back? Or do you use it as fuel to move forward? The most successful people are the ones who refuse to stay down. They refuse to let failure have the final say. They understand that failure is not final, it's a lesson. What you feed will grow. Your mind, your heart, your spirit, whatever you give your attention to, whatever you nurture, will begin to take shape in your life. If you constantly feed doubt, fear, and negativity, those things will grow stronger and start dictating your actions. But if you feed your perseverance, your discipline, and your faith, those things will take root and become the driving force behind your success. Your thoughts are like seeds, And every day, you have the choice of which ones to water. You can water the seeds of fear, insecurity, and excuses. Or you can water the seeds of confidence, resilience, and determination. Whatever you choose will determine the direction of your life. People often wonder why they feel stuck, why they struggle with the same fears, the same problems, the same cycles over and over again. But if they examined what they were feeding, they would see that they are nourishing the very things that are holding them back. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, if you allow yourself to dwell on past mistakes, if you let fear control your decisions, then you are feeding failure before you even start. But if you choose to feed the belief that you are capable, that your struggles are making you stronger, that every step forward is progress no matter how small, then you will begin to see change. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. A person who feeds fear will hesitate, second guess, and hold themselves back from opportunities. But a person who feeds faith will take risks, push through discomfort, and keep moving forward even when things don't go as planned. Every day, you are making a choice about what you are allowing to grow in your life. If you constantly focus on everything that could go wrong, if you surround yourself with negativity, if you consume doubt-filled messages, then you are feeding defeat. But if you focus on solutions, if you fill your mind with encouragement, if you surround yourself with people who push you forward, then you are feeding success. What you listen to, what you read, what you meditate on, all of it is shaping the way you see yourself and the way you approach challenges. If you constantly expose yourself to negativity, you will start to believe that negativity is all there is. But if you choose to feed your mind with wisdom, with inspiration, with truth, then you will start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will start to believe that you are capable even in the face of struggle. You will start to push forward when everything in you wants to quit. The battle is often won or lost in your mind before it ever plays out in your actions. If you don't guard what you feed, you will find yourself trapped by thoughts that were never meant to define you. People who succeed don't have fewer challenges than anyone else. They don't have an easier path or a smoother road. The difference is in what they focus on. Instead of feeding the thought that it's too hard, they feed the thought that it's possible. Instead of feeding the fear that they might fail, they feed the belief that even failure is a step forward. They train their minds to see struggles as part of the process rather than as reasons to quit. They understand that growth happens when they push past their limits and they choose to feed the mindset that allows them to keep going. Every thought you entertain is shaping your future. Every word you speak over yourself is planting a seed. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not enough, that you'll never make it, that you don't have what it takes, those words will take root and begin to choke out your potential. But if you start speaking life over yourself, if you remind yourself that you are growing, that you are learning, that you are becoming stronger, then those words will begin to build a foundation for success. You cannot expect to live a life of confidence and perseverance if you are feeding yourself messages of doubt and defeat. It's not just about what you tell yourself, it's about who you surround yourself with. If you spend time with people who are constantly negative, who doubt their own potential, who make excuses instead of taking action, then that mindset will rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with people who push through, who rise above, who encourage and challenge you, then you will start to take on that same mentality. The people you allow in your life are part of what you are feeding. Their words, their attitudes, their mindsets, those things are either lifting you up or holding you back. If you want to grow, you need to be intentional about who you allow to influence you. You have the power to choose what you focus on. You have the power to decide what you will feed. If you want to live a life of perseverance, you must feed perseverance. If you want to overcome obstacles, you must feed the mindset that refuses to quit. The thoughts you choose today will shape the person you become tomorrow. The seeds you water now will determine the harvest you reap later. If you want to see growth, if you want to see progress, then you must be intentional about what you allow to take root in your mind and your heart. Your future is still in your hands. No matter what has happened, up until this point, no matter how many mistakes you have made, no matter how many times you have fallen, you still have the power to change your direction. Too many people believe that their past defines them, that the choices they made yesterday have locked them into a life they cannot escape. But the truth is, as long as you are breathing, as long as you are still here, your story is not over. You are not stuck. You are not powerless. You have the ability to make different choices, to take new steps, to turn things around. People talk about destiny as if it is something set in stone, as if life is just a script that plays out regardless of what they do. But your future is not predetermined. It is being shaped every day by the choices you make, the habits you build, the beliefs you hold. What happened yesterday may have influenced where you are now, but it does not have to determine where you go next. You can make a decision today that will change the course of your life. You can take a step today that will lead you to a different future. The problem is that too many people feel trapped by their past. They believe that because they have failed before, they will fail again. They believe that because they have struggled, their life will always be a struggle. But your past is not your prison, it is your teacher. Everything you have been through has given you wisdom, experience, and strength. It has shown you what doesn't work. It has revealed the areas where you need to grow, but it has not taken away your power to move forward. The only way your past controls your future is if you allow it to. The only way your mistakes define you is if you refuse to learn from them. There are people who let one bad decision hold them back for the rest of their lives. And there are others who take responsibility, learn from their mistakes, and build something greater because of them. The difference is not in the circumstances, it is in the mindset. It is in the belief that they still have control over their future. Regret can be a weight that keeps you stuck, or it can be a lesson that propels you forward. The choice is yours. You are more powerful than you realize. Every single day, you have the ability to make choices that will shape your future. The small decisions you make add up over time, creating momentum that will either move you forward or keep you stuck. Too often, people wait for something external to change before they take action. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the right timing, the approval of others. But the truth is, nothing will change until you decide to change. Your future is not waiting on circumstances to eliminate, it is waiting on you to take responsibility. It is easy to blame the past. It is easy to blame other people, to blame situations, to blame bad luck. But as long as you are blaming, you are giving away your power. When you take ownership of your future, when you stop making excuses and start making changes, that is when transformation begins. It won't happen overnight. It won't always be easy. But the moment you decide that your future is still in your hands, you will begin to see possibilities where you once saw limitations. Every great achievement started with a decision. Every person who overcame obstacles, who rose above their circumstances, who refused to settle for less than their potential, made a choice. They decided that their past would not dictate their future. They decided that they would not let failure be the end of their story. They decided that they would keep moving forward even when it was hard, even when it was uncertain, even when they had every reason to give up. And because of that decision, they created a different future for themselves. You have the same power. No matter what has happened, no matter how many times you have fallen, you are still capable of rising. You are still capable of growth, of change, of stepping into something greater. But it starts with a shift in your mindset. It starts with refusing to believe that where you are now is where you will always be. It starts with understanding that you are not stuck, that you are not a victim of your past, that you have more control over your life than you think. People waste years waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to save them, waiting for life to hand them an opportunity. But the people who change their lives are the ones who stop waiting and start acting. They are the ones who decide that their future is worth fighting for. They are the ones who stop letting the past define them and start defining their own future. They take steps even when they are small, even when they are uncertain, even when they don't feel ready. And over time, those steps create a path that leads them to a future they never thought possible. You don't have to know exactly how everything will work out. You don't have to have all the answers. All you have to do is decide that you are not going to let your past dictate your future. All you have to do is take responsibility for what happens next. The power is in your hands. The decision is yours.